We need the director. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Three Guys Walking to Culinary School. We are a man down today. Tim is out there living his best life in the woods somewhere, enjoying his summer with the family, as one should do. And it's Brian and I are sitting here, and we will be holding it down for this episode number 9.
You got two guys walking to culinary school today.
2 guys walking to culinary school. You know, we walked out as individuals. Walked in as individuals. Walked out as a world-renowned podcast. We have our one Russian follower back. I checked the stats recently. He's listening again, or they're listening again. Welcome back. Как dela? That's Russian. That's how you're doing in Russian, I think.
Oh, wow.
We got some downloads in Greece and Sweden, so we're blowing up, man. This is kind of a big deal. I'm not quitting my job yet, but I'm definitely enjoying what we're doing. Definitely having a lot of fun doing it, and I hope you guys are having fun listening.
We got to go on location somewhere.
That'd be great.
It'd be Russia, but
ooh, I'd love it. You know what? If someone's gonna put us up, we'll just have to take it regardless. We'll stay at the Kremlin. Oh, that'll be fun. Oh man, I just imagined that went through my mind. Just like a week of us there, being terrified. So this week we're doing a little special. So Brian from Chicago, Illinois, me myself from Brooklyn, New York City, born and raised. We are going to do a little comparison, kind of not a battle per se. I did label it as a battle, but that's very confrontational. We're not about conflict. No. We are going to compare, contrast, and then you know what? We're going to use the socials to let you guys decide your favorites, and we'll share that too, because I think that's going to be a lot of fun to get everyone here listening and watching a little more interactive and involved with the show. And again, we hope you guys enjoy it. And if you have any kind of input you want to give us, suggestions, questions, comments, please find us in the socials. 3 Guys Wicks on Instagram. That's the number 3, GUYSWICS at Instagram. Same on YouTube. That's the name of the podcast. Everywhere you search, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean. So yeah, or you can email us. Same thing, 3guyswicks@gmail.com. Send us those questions. So I guess we will get going in today's Chi-Town, New York City. I'm not going to say, let's get to it. Let's just start. So because we are high tech here and we got all the budgets, Hollywood budget here, I downloaded a free app which has all our categories, and we're going to be comparing hot dogs, sandwiches, steakhouses, pizzas, burgers, and desserts and seafood, not together, but separate categories, as well as in the end, we'll give you guys a wild card. So the first 7 topics mentioned will be food-based. We'll kind of give our favorite spots, favorite individual dishes. Doesn't have to be a specific location or a dish. It can be both or one or the other. And in the end, we'll drop a wild card. It doesn't have to be food-related, just, something that we love about our city and why we think it's something to be proud of. So, Bri, if you're ready, I'm going to spin the wheel.
Who's going first? Am I going first?
You know what? You go first, Bri. Beauty before age. So you go first. All right. Here we go. I'm hitting spin. I got to make this official. This is a free app. This app, when I signed in, it said choose your age. The options were 7 to 18 plus. They have no love for 40-year-olds. Pizza, Jesus Christ. It's like pizza. It knows. Yeah, that's the one we wanted to start with, right?
We're starting out, yeah.
We're starting off strong. The rest are going to be pretty weak categories on my part.
Man, I don't even know where to go with pizza. Like, I think we talked about it on here before. I recommended Pequod's to you. You actually got a chance to try it a bunch of years ago.
Phenomenal pizza.
Funny thing about Pequod's is it's okay. So let's back up a little bit. Chicago. People think about pizza in Chicago. What comes to mind, right? Deep dish.
Deep dish, yeah.
That's what people think about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Deep dish is great. Don't get me wrong. It's unique to Chicago. It's something that we all love, and we we love to get it when our kids graduate from kindergarten and 8th grade, and folks come from out of town to try it. But
it's like an experience, right?
It's not an experience.
It's a full day, not a full day thing, but it takes some time.
It's like turkey and mac and cheese. It's like a, once a year food. It's like holiday celebration food. We don't eat that all the time.
You're not ordering deep dish to watch the Bears, right, on Sunday?
No. Yeah. You're not going to watch the game.
You're not doing that.
Fall asleep. You're going to miss the whole game.
Exactly, man.
So we like thin crust pizza, right? We call it tavern cut. Usually it's cut into squares.
Yeah.
It's got a kind of a really thin, kind of crispy crust. It can be
Mm-hmm.
super crispy. It can be a little bit soggy, depending on the toppings. Our sauce is usually an afterthought, if I'm being honest. It's a little garlicky,
Interesting.
a little acidic, but sometimes a little sweet.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really put too much effort into the sauce, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Cheese toppings, this is Chicago. It's all about the meat, the Italian sausage, the pepperoni, and some vegetables, right? Thin crust is the way to go. So the funny thing about Pequods is like a pan pizza, so it's
Mm-hmm.
not quite not quite deep dish, and it's not quite thin crust. It's somewhere in the middle.
Absolutely.
But it's just fucking perfect. It's like, excuse my language. It's just like
it's so good. As someone who's had it, I don't know if we had it once or twice, because I definitely wanted to go back after having it the first time. It was just like you said. It's the perfect balance in between a thin slice, like a New York City kind of slice, and obviously a deep dish pizza, which is the crust could be 2-3 inches thick with all those toppings. Tall, excuse me. So it's like the perfect balance, and it comes in those cast iron pans, right? You get that crisp. There's some cheese on the edge,
like old school pizza pans, kind of.
So
right?
good, yeah. It's funny.
Yeah,
it was such an amazing experience. That's one of my top favorite pizzas I think that I've ever had. Just because it was just great tasting. I think I had like peppers and sausage and like pepperoni on there, and it's like that's the way to go. Like you have to. It's an experience, man. It's not like the deep dish. I've had the Giordano's with my cousin too, and after you eat that, you're just like you're burping.
It's just done.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah,
you're just
you need a wheelchair or something. You can't even like.
Yeah, you're not going for a walk around the park after that.
It's terrible, but
no.
Chicago's it's not like New York, right? Where if you, I feel like, and you're gonna let us know in Brooklyn where to go, but you can throw a stone and hit a good pizza shop in New York, right? Depending on where you are.
Yeah.
Chicago, we have them. People will send you off and tell you go get deep dish, but if you find a spot that looks, kind of seedy, a little bit of a hole in the wall, don't trust the deep dish. Just go with a slice or a thin crust pizza, and you'll be good to go.
No. So your tavern style's thinner than like a New York slice because you lived in New York for a bit, so you're obviously familiar with it. Is that thinner? It's like, is it crunchy like a cracker almost?
It can be.
It can be, right? Okay, that does sound good. It sounds like you eat a bunch of it too. Like
the cheese is different. It's really it's about the cheese. Like we're not so big on the fresh mozzarella or the low moisture mozzarella, part skim or whatever. Our cheese is like it's almost like Monterey Jack / mozzarella. It's like a super cheesy, flavorful, really salty cheese that melts up real nice. So
it sounds good. It's not what I'm used to, but it definitely sounds
amazing. It's unique.
Yeah. What's your favorite tavern style pizza now that I discuss?
If I had to
or
choose,
like just growing up, like one you look forward to or something.
Yeah, the one I would order the most growing up was actually Giordano's, and I would get their
they have that pie?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. I thought they were Giordano's, and I've been there, and it was a while back, but
right.
I thought it was only that thick, that deep.
No, that's not. That's just some people don't know.
That's the tourist attraction.
That's the tourist attraction.
Yeah, that's what
that was our Friday night. That was our Friday night movie pizza. It was Giordano's thin crust.
That's really cool.
This is funny. We have a spot called Italian Fiesta. It's like a super racist name, but
Italian Fiesta. That's
Italian
fantastic.
Fiesta.
That's great.
Right? But
that's fantastic.
That's like our South Side pizza shop. So I think it's pretty good. I think it's Obama's favorite too. And I'm thinking about.
Oh, wow. No,
yeah,
that's so funny.
Right in the neighborhood. So it's pretty good.
That's awesome. Yeah, man. Chicago pizza is what I've had. I enjoy the Giordano's deep dish. I love the Pequods, excuse me.
Yeah.
All amazing pizza, man. And it's different from what I'm used to growing up. New York style pizza, you have that big triangle. It depends where you get it. It could be a little floppy crust, could be a crispier crust.
Yeah.
A nice little rim around crust in the edge, which I do enjoy. And I mean, my favorite thing was like, I thought I was the coolest person in the world. I'd get a slice when I was like 11, no bag, just have the plate and just fold it up and just walk with it, and I'm just like, I'm going to junior high school. Like, I'm a man about the town, and I think as I got older, I still love a good New York slice, but I want a little variety. I think the Neapolitan kind of cold oven pizzerias, like those old school ones.
Yeah.
I kind of fell in love with those like in the late 2000s, early
Okay.
2010s. Went to like not Giordano's, because Giordano's is a regular New York slice, and that's one of my favorite. But like Juliana's, which came a little after that, was one of my favorites. That's the old Giordano's location by Fulton Landing in Brooklyn. I love. Which one was that? Oh, I forget what it's called. Is it
Yeah.
John's? It's not John's. Oh man, you know what? I forget what it was, but it's no, Lombardi's Pizzeria. Lombardi's. I think it touts itself as like the first pizzeria in New York, but a bunch of pizzerias do that.
Yeah.
But like, they have that coal oven, and I love that little black char under the pine on the around the crust.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think Neapolitan is probably my favorite pizza style. But you have so many styles now. I grew up really liking squares when I was a kid. I don't know why. I think because it was doughy and like different.
Yeah.
And I was pretty doughy as a kid. But I think, like Prince Street Pizza with their pepperonis, the pepperoni cups that catch all that oil is really popular now. Traditional slices, you have Joe's Pizzeria, John's of Bleecker. You've got probably one that was, and I didn't know this until I was probably in my mid-20s, but I was literally 4 or 5 avenues away from, just 4 avenues straight up away from DeFara's Pizzeria. R.I.P. Dominic. I don't know if you guys aren't familiar with it. I'm going to give you a little story about DeFara because it's one of the more popular ones now. It's got this great pizza lore, and it became one of my favorite pizzas the first time I had it. It's Dominic opened it up. Dominic DeFara came over from Italy, of course. Opened it up. I forget when, 40s, 50s, 60s. Don't quote me on this. And he was a one-man shop. He had a couple of kids in there helping him. But you'd go in there and you'd order a pie, and you'd watch a dozen other people come in after you, order pies, and he would handle every single pizza pie from, pulling the dough out to manually. Every time he did a pizza, it was so inefficient, but it was so amazing. Like, he literally would take the sauce out, ladle it on your pie, put it back in, take out the mozzarella cheese, bricks of mozzarella cheese, pull it apart for every pie, put it back in the fridge, sprinkle it with some parm, sprinkle some oil, throw it in the oven, start the other one, pull out the ready pizza, take rusty scissors, and literally just like snip fresh basil over your pizza, a little more oil, a little bit parm. It was amazing. The ovens were 6,000 degrees because it always came out charred and crispy. It literally is my favorite pie. And it started getting, when pizza started becoming popular and the internet started making everything popular in New York City and making it even harder to get to, you'd wait an hour and a half, 2 hours for a slice or a pie, regardless what you ordered. You'd wait some time. And if you got there late enough right before they close, you might get something like, maybe in 20 minutes. Because again, that man made thousands of pies a week, and he did it all by himself, and he wouldn't let anyone help. His kids were there. They were bringing supplies in, bringing in food, to help, but they weren't allowed to make pizza, it seemed like. And he was just the sweetest, nicest guy. He'd say hi to everyone. He'd talk to everyone. Yeah. And he was a legend, absolutely, of pizza in New York, in my opinion. I'm honored to have literally experienced it because I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. But you know what? As it got more and more popular and they realized they weren't going to sell more pies because they were popular, because he was still controlling the flow of pizza, they raised their prices up to like $39 for like a plain cheese pie.
Wow.
And I still paid it. You'd wait an hour and a half. So my theory is it was delicious, but like when you ate it, you were like, this is the best thing I've ever eaten, because you go hungry, because you don't expect to wait, right? You go hungry, you wait 90 minutes for pie, then you eat it, and you could have eaten the box, and you'd be like, this is the best food I've ever had in my life.
Right, yeah. The box is a 5.
The box is at least a 5.5. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well,
let me ask a question, though.
So good. Yeah, please.
Thinking about like New York style pizza, it's its own sort of institution all its own. When you travel and you see, shops that call themselves New York pizza, like, do you even bother? Like, or do you just think like, I'm gonna go get something to eat? Like, I'm not really expecting it to be mind blowing or life changing, but I just want to get a slice or something that'll like push me. over the edge of hunger.
Unless it's something I know, unless it's something different. Like if you're going to tell me go try Pequod's or Giordano's, or I'm going to go to someplace in the Midwest and try Detroit style pizza, which I still haven't had yet, I'll go in. But if it's just like New York style, I honestly won't bother. Like I'm a little bit of a snob with that. Like I'm not going to bother because it's like, if I want New York style, I'll just, before I was walk out of my house and go to a pizzeria down the block, which was amazing. Now it's, I'll take a 25-minute drive back into the city and get something. I'm not going to honestly bother with that because I'm a little snobbish. I've had great pizza and I don't want to, I just know it's not going to be as good. I don't know. I just feel like I'm not going to give them a chance. Maybe I'm being a dick, but
no, I feel you. Yeah.
It's kind of easier now though. Cause like new style pizzerias, again, Neapolitan style, coal oven, brick oven, like Roberta's. Are you familiar with them? They opened up in Williamsburg. They have like a podcasting studio in their like backyard in like a trailer or something. Pretty cool vibe. I think they're all over the place now, right? They're like all over the country. So I'll try them,
Right.
I think like one of my favorite pizzas, Spumoni Gardens, open somewhere outside of New York. They do like an upside down pie where it's cheese then sauce. It's a square. It's my absolutely favorite pizzeria.
So it's
great
kind of
Italian
like Detroit style a little bit. Cheese
and
kind
sauce.
of,
but it's mad saucy. It's not like the landing strip of sauce.
Gotcha.
That's a weird reference. It's not the landing strip of sauce that Tim showed us on his pizza. But yeah, I won't try. Will you try like a New York style pizza? Because you've had New York style pizza. I'm sure you had some great ones living in New York.
I mean,
you'll give it a shot if you just want to slice like something quick.
I'm a fan of like the brick oven, coal oven.
Yeah,
right? It doesn't.
So good.
If it's New York style, then I'm kind of like you. In most cases, I feel like it'll be some sort of like generic trash that's just trash sauce and trash cheese. But
absolutely,
if it's like brick oven and coal oven, and I can see a little bit of effort going into it, a little bit of love, then I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
And same about like deep dish, right? Other places. When I was in New York, a spot opened up called Emmett's. Emmett's was, I want to say Emmett's was like Soho area. And the thing about Emmett's is it was a tiny, 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 tiny shop. It had a tiny, tiny kitchen. But similar to, was it Pharaoh's or Pharaoh's?
Pharaoh's, yeah.
Pharaoh's, yeah. Similar to Pharaoh's, this one guy from Chicago, Emmett something or other.
I'm sorry, DeFara, because there is a Pharaoh's pizza. I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry.
DeFara,
yeah. DeFara. Emmett was like there by himself making these deep dish pies, right? So, you would get a table. It would take you 90 minutes or so to get your pizza to come out. The restaurant may have been like a 16 top, maybe like total. So it was tiny. I
didn't know it was that small.
Yeah, it was tiny. But it was really, really good. So, but that's because the guy was from Chicago and he put a lot of love into it and he wanted to like bring this style of pizza to New York in a way that was authentic and like the real deal. So, it just depends. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that place, like it's got history. It's got someone. Was he from Chicago? You said.
Yeah, he was from Chicago.
Yeah, he's from Chicago. Like he's there on a mission. He's there to spread good Chicago pizza. Right, so I'm going to do that. I'm not just going to go to
Uno, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. Where it's like made in some place and then shipped all over the country. No, absolutely. Like I would definitely try that. And I've been trying to go to Emmett's. I think I like in 2015, 2016. I first read about it. And I remember once we were driving by it just by chance looking for a place to eat. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, let's try this place. And they had a long wait. And I'm like, you know what? We'll come back another time. And I never made it out there, but I'm happy to hear it's good because it's someplace I've always wanted to try, but I didn't know the wait was that long. I didn't know the wait would be that long. But again, it would be worth the wait because
this was like 2014 or something. So I'm talking 10 years ago when I went.
Yeah. And I think it was like 15 or 16 when I tried to go with I must have been 16 because that's when we started dating with my now wife. We were just driving through and the wait was just too long. But so from what I see on their like socials and their website, they don't do they have super deep dish, but I feel like the stuff they advertise isn't super deep dish. It's more like is it like more like a Pequod's? What did you have when you were there? Because now I'm just curious.
Well, it was 10 years ago, but if I remember correctly, I think it was deep dish. It's possible that it could have changed at this point.
No, it looks amazing. All their images look great. But also, like, there's a New Yorker who moved out to Arizona. I forget his name. He's really famous now. He's out in LA and he's doing great things with amazing coal and brick oven pizza.
Yeah.
Amazing Italian appetizers and like amazing toppings. Everything's fresh. Everything's so well thought out, well planned. Like, of course, I'd go to that in a heartbeat. I'd wait, if my wife and I want to go to Arizona, I think this November, or was it next November? And like, that's going to be a pit stop for sure. Like, that's going to be a destination. We're going to take however long it takes to get a table, and we're going to eat there and enjoy it. So, there's good pizza everywhere. It doesn't have to be New York style. It's what I grew up with. And if you do your homework, I'm sure you won't be upset afterwards.
Absolutely.
But I think New York's better. I'm joking. I'm joking. Definitely easier to eat, I guess, but maybe not, because your tavern style pizza sounds really good.
Yeah, and you can drink a beer with it, which you can't do a big New York slice.
Yeah. No, you can't. You're right. It's beer's already heavy enough. That big slice makes it worse. Let's go. Second topic, and hit it. Don't be pizza again. Sandwiches, man. Was the bear? Is this an episode of the bear we're going to talk about? Do you want to go first? I can go first. I don't care.
Yeah, I think you should go first. I think you already know where I'm going to go. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think most of the internet, if they hear New York City and sandwiches, are going to go with Katz's Deli. I think that's like the most famous right now. I love a pastrami sandwich. It might be just, pastrami, rye bread, mustard might be my favorite sandwich of all time.
Yeah.
If not favorite, top two. I think it's a fantastic sandwich. You don't got to go to Katz's, though. There's so many other amazing kosher delis in the outer boroughs. I'm thinking specifically in Brooklyn, where I grew up. There's one that closed down, unfortunately. But there's like Mill Basin Deli has an amazing sandwich. Katz's, I'm sure there's another dozen in the city that make really good pastrami sandwiches. But I think just based on sandwich, I think pastrami sandwich would be a New York icon sandwich. That would be the iconic New York on the Mount Everest. No, not the Mount Everest. That's not the one. The one with the president's faces. Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore of food in New York. You have to have pastrami on rye up there. And and there's amazing other places. Like my honorable mention would be the spot in Brooklyn, which doesn't have like the notoriety and all the write-ups, but it should. It's got like 160 different sandwiches, cold cuts. It could be chicken cutlets, grilled chicken. There's veggie options. They're about like the size from my shoulder to about mid forearm. You can literally feed two people, and those people will be in a food coma splitting one sandwich. And it's like $18.
Why is it so big?
I'm not asking bad questions. Those are bad questions. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to split it with someone. We're going to eat good. And if the ingredients are amazing quality, it's called Leone's Heroes in Bensonhurst Bay Ridge. They are by far my favorite New York style sub shop, and I love the doo-whopper. It's all different pork cold cuts, and it's fantastic.
It's called the doo-whopper?
The doo-whopper, yeah, it's called the doo-whopper. And it's like, a pound of prosciutto, some sweet cappy, some hot cappy. It's just like all the cold cuts you shouldn't be eating in that large amount. It's my favorite, but it's mad good. It's mad good. And there's other sandwiches. Just thinking about it. There's other sandwich joints that people love, and they love online making these big fat sandwiches. But I'm going to stick with the iconic New York sandwich to be Katz's Deli. But check out Leone's Heroes if you're in Brooklyn, because this place is a fucking gem. It's a hidden gem. It's amazing.
Yeah, well,
it's amazing.
I feel like this is I don't want to beat a dead horse because we talked about it already, right? The Italian beef sandwich is, by all means, the Chicago sandwich, right? It's like certified stamp. We got a TV show about it there. It's won Emmys. So it's a fantastic sandwich. It's not what you would ever expect. The good thing about it is that you can't really get it anywhere else, right? Mm-hmm. I can find a kosher deli in Chicago and get a pastrami sandwich on rye, pretty easily. But I don't think I can go to Brooklyn and ask for an Italian beef and anyone give me like what I'm expecting. Right?
Not what you're
Closest
expecting.
Thing to it is probably a Philly cheesesteak, but still very different. Very different. So Italian beef is my way to go.
Absolutely.
You can get a good one in a lot of places. Mr. Beef is the one that the Bear is based on, right? So That's downtown Chicago, but you can go to Al's, which is like famous.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many. Portillo's is like our sort of chain Italian beef spot, but they have pretty decent beef. My favorite spot is actually in Little Italy. It's called the Patio. It's kind of a little dive, a little dump, but they make a pretty good beef, and it's still dirt cheap. It's like $6 or something.
Oh, damn, that's awesome. And that's going to be like in a hero roll? It's not going to be in a round roll?
No, yes.
It's always a hero roll. It's always like a long Italian hero roll.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Fill it up with beef. They, dip it, giardiniera, and fries, all this stuff. No cheese. Amazing. I don't put cheese on it.
You don't like the cheese? What kind of cheese is it? Don't tell me it's cheese.
I've never ordered it with cheese. I don't know.
Do you know if it's like a cheese whiz or is it like a melty cheese?
No, it's a melty cheese. It's probably a,
because we know Tim doesn't like cheese whiz.
Yeah, no. If I had to guess, it's probably like a provolone, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Italian beef. Yeah, that sounds amazing. I think the fact that it's so new to me. We have some like roast beef sandwich spots here that kind of make it in like a round Kaiser roll and then dip it in the au jus and just give it to you. Yeah. And
it's
that
like
sounds
a French dip.
It's kind of like a French dip, but it's like pre-dipped and it's just like the thing's falling apart by the time you get it. And it's delicious, but like the giardiniera is like a giardiniera is just like another aspect that like just adds so much to a sandwich, man. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. No, I think, man, is that your number one sandwich outside of like, picking Chicago food? Like, is that the one that you would put on your personal Mount Rushmore?
Well, if we're talking just sandwich in general, it's my number one Chicago sandwich. But if we're talking sandwich in general, man, I had a roast pork sandwich in Philly once.
Ooh, okay, I'm listening.
It was like fantastic, man. Like, everyone will tell you get a Philly cheesesteak. If you talk to guys from Philly, they'll say get a roast pork. We put giardiniera on Italian beef. They put broccoli rabe on the roast pork. It's like garlicky and bitter. It's delicious, man. Yeah,
that sounds great.
That's a really good sandwich.
What's your thought on a Cuban? Not to take this to Florida now, but I'm just curious.
Man, I've had really good Cubans in Tampa too.
Yeah, I mean, your Cubans are good. I'm a big Cuban
fan too.
I'm a good Cuban fan. It's got to be good. I've had some bad ones, unfortunately.
Yeah, you gotta have the pickles. Yeah,
of course. Yeah. The pickles. I love the mustard. I love the Swiss cheese. I like it traditional. Like it's fantastic. Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, so Katz's Deli. Well, not Katz's, but pastrami on rye versus the Chicago Italian. Oh man, the Italian sounds so good.
But I'm not mad at the pastrami on rye.
No, I'm not either.
It's huge. Like I don't know how you're supposed to actually eat it as a sandwich, but
that's why if you go someplace else, you'll get a very filling sandwich for with a reasonable amount of meat, and it just doesn't go crazy. Oh, there's a deli in Jersey. Oh man, why am I blanking out now? Oh my God. They have like literally monster size sandwiches, but they also have normal size sandwiches. But they also have one pancake. You order a pancake order, it's like $12 and it's the size of an 18-inch pizza pie. It's one pancake. It's so good.
Jersey Mike. That's not what you think about.
Jersey Mike's. They make pancakes? Stop it. Oh, they have good sandwiches too. All right, let's go. Let's go. Next one. Let's go.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
No,
I do like Jersey Mike's.
I do like Jersey Mike's. It reminds me of Blimpie. I don't know if you guys remember that. Anyone listening is old enough to remember Blimpie. It was it's just like Jersey Mike's menu, but I don't know. Shit was my favorite. Okay, here we go. There's nostalgia there. What do we have left? I hope it's not hot dogs because you're gonna win that one too. What does that say? I can't even read it backwards. Oh, burgers. What a dick.
Burgers.
Burgers. Burgers are kind of boring, right?
Yeah, burgers are kind of boring.
They're kind of boring. I'm going to give you
dessert. You want to do desserts instead of burger?
Oh, can I just list off? Because it's New York based, so I got to give shout outs to New York based stuff.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Red Hook Tavern in Brooklyn. A great burger. Never had it, but everyone I know has had it. It says it's the best burger they've ever had. Minetta Tavern, I tried to get into once, like in 2010. I went on a Wednesday at like 6 p.m. And they're like, do you have some guy with like a full suit meets me at the door, doesn't even let me in. He goes, do you have a reservation? I go, no, I just want to get a burger. I'm thinking it's a burger spot. He's like, no. He's like, you need a reservation. So I never tried to go back there again. I might now just to try it, but it allegedly has a good burger. It seems like Minetta and Red Hook Tavern have like the thicker patties, kind of like what I consider diner style, like the really thick, meaty beef burgers, which I'd like, but I think it's too much meat. Dram Shop in Brooklyn makes a fucking great burger. I don't know if they're famous enough for their burger, but it is a good spot by Prospect Park, I believe. I've had it a couple times. One of my favorite burgers. And then Shake Shack. It's an institution. It's everywhere. My microphone's too low. I moved it, and now everyone gets a view of the convertible. So I'm going to bring it up here. I'm going to just hold this up here like, I don't know who, but I'm holding my microphone here like I'm Ed McMahon. And I'm telling you, Shake Shack is my favorite cheeseburger of all time. It is perfectly made, I think. It's better than In-N-Out. Don't at me because I know I'm right. Their fries suck though, but the best burger I've had, New York City based.
It costs too much for what you get.
It does. Everything costs too much nowadays, though. I think like anything that's somewhat popular costs way too much money.
Yeah. I just always feel like I don't know, like a dweeb when I pay $18 for my Shake Shack and fries.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I mean, what did I buy recently that was just like, I think it wasn't even anything special. It might have been like Chipotle a couple weeks ago, and it was like 2 people, like $34 for 2 bowls. Like, I'm like, what? Like, this is crazy. Like it's crazy.
Go to Applebee's.
Yeah, I might as well. You can go. I'm sure I can find a Mexican spot. Well, again, in New York City, not so much here. That would have done that for like $20, and it would have been the best thing I've ever eaten.
Yeah,
and fresher.
Talking burgers, I got three great burgers you can get in Chicago.
Okay.
First one is the Loyalist. Loyalist is probably the best burger in Chicago. I think it's arguable, and it's probably been overtaken at this point. I think if you go back to like 2019, 2020, it was absolutely the best burger, and now we've had some new spots pop up that I haven't tried all of them yet, but Loyalist is great. It's basically Smith and the Loyalist. So the Smith is upstairs. It's a Michelin star restaurant. Loyalist is kind of like their bar casual in the basement.
Nice.
That burger is awesome. Au Cheval is another one that's sort of famous for their burger. So we've got Au Cheval and Small Cheval. So you can go to Au Cheval. They give you like I don't know if it's Michelin star, but you can get like your bone marrow and toast and all kinds of high end stuff. But they have a really really good burger with this like super thick cut bacon they put on it and stab a knife through it. It's a really good burger. Small Cheval is kind of like their more casual offshoot. Because the thing about Au Cheval is there's always a wait, right? The wait may be 15 and maybe 45 and maybe an hour. It's one of those kind of places. I don't think they take reservations. So Small Cheval, they only do burgers and fries. You can shakes, you can go.
That's awesome.
The last one is Fatso's Last Stand. You can go get you can get a Fatso burger. Other burgers, it's kind of like Five Guys, where the burgers are all doubles. You get a single Fatso or a double Fatso. Caramelized onions, cheese on a nice soft bun. It's kind of like a smash burger, but
nice.
Those are dope. Yeah.
And the first 2 spots you mentioned, are those more thicker tavern style?
No, they're
burgers, or are they a little
they're
more?
all more like smash burgers.
Oh wow!
Yeah, double patty smash burgers.
Wow. Oh, I had a great burger when I was in Chicago. That same trip where I had the quads. What was it from? A little place called Shake Shack. That's right. I did it. I went to Shake Shack in Chicago because it was there and it was delicious.
Yeah.
So burgers are, I don't know. I feel like I'm not a big burger guy. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something I outgrow. I don't know if the palate just get a steak, you'll be better off, or it's just something I don't crave anymore. But burgers are good. They have their time and place, but I'd prefer pizza. Because carbs, why not? Here we go. What's left? Steakhouse, dessert, hot dogs, and seafood. This is backwards and just makes no sense for everyone watching at home. Don't be hot dogs. All right, seafood.
Okay.
All right, cool. You want to go first?
Oh man, I don't
Up to you.
really
I can go first. Whatever you want.
I don't have much for seafood, if I'm being honest. All I can think of is uh, I don't even know if this place is still around. So
You're
Shaw's
so
Crab
funny.
House.
Oh,
It's
that sounds good.
it's a spot where you can do. I think it's like all you can eat crabs. So we would go when I was a little kid
That sounds awesome.
out in
You get to smash
burbs.
them. You get like gloves and a hammer. You get to
No,
smash them
no,
on
it's
the
like
table.
the king crab. So you need a little
Oh,
pick
okay.
and you got to
Yeah,
pick them out.
yeah.
No, no, it's not Shaw's. I'm sorry. It's Bob Chin's Crab House. That's what it's called. Bob Chin.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bob
and they
Shin.
had a really famous Mai Tai, which I was too young to try, but I remember my parents always talking about the Mai Tai there. Yeah, I think it may have
Oh,
closed.
damn, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so that's definitely
That's all I
the
got.
spot for my time. That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
Bob Chin.
you know, there's so many like seafood restaurants, and you know, you think New York, you think like fancier seafoods, and I'm not. I grew up. My seafood spot was a spot called Randazzo's in Sheepshead Bay. Actually, the owner just passed away a few weeks ago, so R.I.P. to Paulie. He was a legend. You'd walk in there and he'd greet everyone. You ate by the bar. You had a full convo with him. Really cool guy. Remembered everyone. Spot was like kind of like a Jersey Shore or just any kind of like shore town like clam house kind of deal. So it had like, you know, your little neck clams. It had your oysters for the raw bar, shrimp cocktail. They had steamers. They had fried galama, which I called calamari once, and the woman's like, "What do you want?" Like some old Italian woman's like, "What do you want?" And I'm like, "I'm the one saying it right. Like, why are you yelling at me?" But you know, everyone they had like "Got Galama" T-shirts. You know, they had spoke that heavy New York Italian accent. Something super nostalgic. The best, you know, New England clam chowder I've ever had, because I've never had it in New England. So don't hate on me. But it was fantastic. It is still there. Fantastic little spot. Very nostalgic. Went with family growing up. Went with friends when we get older. It's something I would recommend to anyone who's in South Brooklyn by Sheepshead Bay, Coney Island. Stop by Randazzo's, grab a dozen necks, grab a half a dozen oysters. Definitely try the best. It's the best fried calamari. They had like a spicy sauce that they put on top of it, and it was just fucking awesome. It's the best calamari and the best clam chowder I ever had. So Randazzo's in Sheepshead Bay. Check that place out. That's my quintessential New York seafood spot. And it's kind of like more Jersey Shore-ish, like I said, because it's like a little clam house on the shore vibe because it's right on the bay.
Yeah.
But it's not like a fancy 5-star, you know, tuna tartare, all that stuff that you're gonna find at like Le Bernardin or all those fancy French restaurants. So if you're looking for something fun, something casual, a little pricey, still amazing food, hit up Randazzo's.
No
All right.
escargot.
No escargot. You know what? No escargot. No, do they have snail? No, they don't have it. I had that in France, man. That was so delicious. My wife doesn't know why I eat that stuff. I tell her because it's super tasty. Steakhouses. Are you going with the legend, Michael Jordan Steakhouse?
Never had it.
Never had it? That's so
Never had
funny.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You got some history there.
Yeah. Funny thing about
Chicago.
me and steakhouses. Not a big fan of steakhouses in general. If I'm being honest. I feel like they're so pricey. A lot of times, you know, you got to get the cream spinach and the cream kale and the mashed potatoes. And I just feel like I can make a good steak at home and I can save a lot of money. So I never really. I don't love steakhouses.
You literally just ruined Steakhouses for me.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Because let's be honest. Like, okay, look, the vibe's great, right? You go there, you have a couple dirty martinis, but like, you know what? Like, grilling meat, if you know what you're doing, not even grilling it, because you sear it in the pan and throw it in the oven, or reverse sear it, whatever you want to do to it, or sous videing it, which is how my wife loves it. Like I don't know if you remember Chef James Briscioni said, you know, he's like, my wife only eats filet mignon the way I made it. I sous vide it first and then sear right before I serve it, and it's like a perfect pink all around. And I did that at home once, and my wife's like, this is how I want my steak cooked from now on, because it's like amazing. And I still do it. Like, you know, I've been doing it for 8 years now. And like, you're right. Like, some steak is it's not time consuming. It's not like this big like ordeal where you need a million ingredients to make something tasty. You
Yeah.
know, if you have 20 minutes, 25 minutes and, you know, garlic butter and a potato for a side or something, you can get a really decent meal at home and
Yeah.
you're paying, you know, probably a third of the price. Damn.
At least, yeah. I mean,
Damn.
I
I
get it
love a
for the
good
vibe.
steakhouse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love a good
and
steakhouse.
we
I
have
don't
our
know. It's
fair
just,
share of good
it's
ones here in
dark,
Chicago, but yeah,
you know, and there's like, you know, there's like old school ones in New York. Like I went to Sparks once and then I found out afterwards there was like a mob hit right in front of Sparks in like in the 80s. John Gotti called a hit on a rival mob boss and he got
oh shit,
him and his number one or number two got gunned down going like getting out of their car going into the restaurant or something.
was
So
that
like
in
you have
Brooklyn
all
or is
these,
that in Manhattan?
that's in the city, that's in Manhattan, you know, and
Okay,
there's like Gallagher's and there's Old Homestead, which is super famous. Like I've eaten at Old Homestead, I've eaten at Gallagher's, I've eaten at Sparks.
yeah,
Really good. I've eaten at some new ones like the Bowery Meats, I think it's called. Fantastic vibe, great food. But you're right, like it's something I could just do at home, you know, and save some money there.
yeah.
Oh man, yeah, you were in steakhouses. Now you ruined it. You woke me up, right? I'm a
I'm
married
just, I don't
man.
know.
I got a
I'm just a little
kid. I
more
should save some
practical.
money here and there. No,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. No, you're right. You're right. Because it is. Because you know what? A lot of people say, I can make this better at home, or why do we go out if I can make it at home? Well, you know, if I want, you know, fresh pasta, I'm not going to sit there rolling out dough and make it. But you know what? A steak you can have ready in like I said, 20, 25 minutes. So
yeah.
maybe steakhouses are overrated. I don't know.
That's
I
just
do
me.
like
I
the
mean, I don't know.
vibe.
Yeah.
I like the
Well,
vibe. No, no, but you're
what's your
practical. I need
go-to
to be
cut
more
then?
practical.
Because maybe you
Shit.
don't get your go-to cut when you're at
So
home. You know.
my wife is a filet.
Yeah.
And when we started going to steakhouses, we would do the porterhouse. So I'd get the strip
Okay.
and she'd get the filet,
Okay.
you know, and the porterhouse is more expensive than two fillets. So it's not like it's cheaper,
Yeah.
but you know, it's porterhouse for two. I think, you know, I just got into ribeyes maybe like a year or two ago. I thought they were
Okay.
too fatty,
Yeah.
but like as I get older, I'm like, fuck it. Like, let me enjoy some flavor.
Yeah.
So like if I'm barbecuing in the back now, it will be ribeyes. If I'm making it like sous vide and inside the oven or stovetop, it's gonna be filet
Okay.
because
All
it's
right. No,
leaner
that's
and you know, and we don't eat red meat that much anymore. Like I try not to eat it much, so like I'll make my
yeah.
wife's, you know, filet, and I'll still have chicken. I'll still have like chicken
Okay.
breast or
No,
something. But that's my go-to cut. I
that's
think
good.
ribeye outside, filet mignon inside.
Yeah. See, I
Ribeye,
never
yeah,
really try porterhouse. So
yeah. You know,
next
if you
time I
like.
go to a steakhouse, I'll make sure I get a porterhouse.
Much more expensive than just two fillets, unfortunately. But yeah, it's just a strip and a fillet, so it's like,
Yeah.
all right, you
Well, you
know,
can't
it's
really
bad.
get them at the grocery store, right? Most of the time,
You
the
know what? Oh
porterhouses that
shit.
I see are like they're actually
Yeah,
T-bones and not really porterhouse.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're
That's a great
trying to
point.
cheap you,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. They put the wrong label on there on purpose, trying to make some extra money. Yeah,
Yeah,
but you know what's really big? The tomahawk stuff now, right? That's everywhere. Everyone's trying to do a tomahawk steak. I
yeah,
haven't made one yet in my backyard. I definitely want to grill that up, which is just a ribeye with a bone in it, right? So you're
yeah.
paying all this extra money for a pound and a half of bone, which makes no sense. Maybe I just like spending money too much. Like that's probably my issue. Like, I'm not gonna not go have two dirty martinis, but I shouldn't. I know I shouldn't, but I'm not gonna stop doing that.
Yeah,
All right. Well, steakhouses. There's so many of them. They're so good.
yeah.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe. I don't know.
It's
Maybe it's all
about
the
yeah,
memories. You know. Yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
went to my first steakhouse. I think was Anthony Bourdain's. I was like 22 or 23. No, false. My first steakhouse was actually Morton's, which I think is a
Ah,
Chicago institution,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So that was my first one. That was my 18th birthday. But then, like as an adult, I went out to Anthony Bourdain's La Halle. It was awesome. It was
Oh
quite an
man,
experience. Yeah.
yeah,
RP to that legend too.
yeah.
Obviously.
Absolutely.
Man, I can't believe you were in steakhouses. So, is there
You know what?
one
I
in
had a
Chicago that you like?
yeah. There's a couple that I like in
I'm sure there are.
Chicago.
I'm sorry, not that you like. Obviously, you like
You
them,
know
but
what? Now that
you're
you're talking
reasonable.
about like your history with them, I think I
Hmm.
was ruined from jump. When I went out for prom, you know, after prom, you go out to
Okay.
dinner. We
Yeah,
went
yeah, yeah.
to Smith and Walensky, me and a bunch of my
Oh,
knucklehead friends.
awesome.
And I had no money. I had no idea what a dinner would cost at Smith
Yeah.
and Wolinski, and I was just completely like, I think I ordered a salad. Like I
That's
was so
so
fucking
funny.
broke. So,
That's so funny.
so I think I was ruined from like age
Yeah.
17.
No,
You
I hear
know?
you. I hear you. It's like it's a little scar there. It leaves a little scar. Like, oh shit.
Yeah,
You know? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, when we get together, we got to go to a steakhouse, and
yeah, yeah. I'm
I
down.
still go. I go to one locally here, and I get the scallops every time. I'm such a fucking lame-o. I'm such a lame-o. Man, the experience though is so much fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back. I kind of left seafood on there, but if we hit it, we'll drop it. What do we have left? Seafood. All right, let me stop that.
Let's
You
do
know what?
desserts.
Let's just go to the next one.
Yeah, I think we skip hot dogs and we go to desserts. I
You
think
want to
hot
skip
dogs are. Well,
hot dogs?
you know,
You're taking the W on that one.
yeah, of course. You
I
know,
think so. I'm giving you the W. I'm not. I'm bowing down.
Yeah,
I mean,
the dirty
you know,
water dogs.
yeah.
Are, you know,
No, in New York
dogs.
City, not much. Yeah, papaya, great papaya. Those two, you know, and then the 600,000 hot dog vendors throughout New York City that can't hold a candle to what you guys do out there. So
yeah, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I lived in New York for 12 years, and I never had a dirty water dog. So I never had one.
Yeah, I know it's not necessarily good. It's convenient.
Yeah,
I mean, the best thing those carts have to offer is a knish. Or back in the day, I don't even know if they still do knishes.
Yeah,
I don't know. I love knishes. All right, so what do we say? We're doing desserts.
Yeah, we'll do desserts. Let's just call it
let's
sweets.
do some desserts. Sweets. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Sweets is a better title than desserts.
Yeah,
because you don't need to have anything to have a little sweet.
Yeah.
You want to start it off? I'm curious what Chicago has out there.
Oh man, we've got it all, man. I don't even know where to go. Like donuts, probably my favorite, right? So, growing up, we had a donut shop in the neighborhood. It's still around. It's probably been there for going on 75 or 80 years. It's called Old Fashioned Donuts.
Nice.
It's literally Old Fashioned Donuts. Is one old guy. He's like, he's got a big vat of oil, and he's dropping the donuts and flipping them manually, like by hand. Excellent donuts. Right in the hood too. It's not in a safe neighborhood, but it's. I can take you there if you want to go.
I mean, I'll go by myself for anything for a donut. I'll find it.
Speaking of donuts, we got Do Right Donuts is another kind of Chicago. It's more bougie donuts for sure.
Yeah,
but,
I like a bougie donut.
Delicious. You know, they've got all the fancy flavors, the cinnamon crunch and the bullseye with it's like a Boston cream with chocolate in the middle. It's ice cream. We've got a spot called the Original Rainbow Cone where they've got. It's actually the original rainbow cone. They give you ice cream cone. It's got like 7 flavors or something. It's pistachio, cherry, chocolate, vanilla. It's ridiculous, right?
Damn. Is it like a tall cone or is it like
tall? Yeah, it's a tall cone, right?
I've never heard of that. Yeah,
it's maybe this tall. Yeah.
Jesus.
Man, so much. Mario's Italian Ice, right? It's another spot in Little Italy.
Is that Chicago? Mario's Italian Ice? Oh, I didn't know that.
It's seasonal business, right? So it's only open from Memorial Day to Labor Day, and the rest of the year is closed, right? So, any weekend during the summer and you go, there's always going to be a line down the block.
Absolutely,
but it's it's delicious because they got real fruit, right? If you get a watermelon, you're going to have watermelon seeds in it. If you get the lemon, it's going to have lemon rind and lemon peel. Like it's really delicious.
Dope. That's awesome. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, but that's just a handful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like you just hit the top of that, the tip of the iceberg. I think New York's got some really good. Obviously, I don't know. I feel like all these like food trends start here. Like the cronut for Dominique Ansel, right? The croissant donut. Everyone went crazy about. I don't know how long Levain's been around. They've been around for a while. Yeah. But that like mountainous round chocolate chip cookie, which I've had, and I think it really is something spectacular. Like I don't know if you've eaten it. You got a chance to try it?
Yeah, I've had it. Yeah,
I've had it. I've had it once.
Here that opened about a year ago.
Oh yeah, it's so good. It's so good, man. I think there's 2 ice cream spots that I loved. Ample Hills Creamery, more local. I think they were in Brooklyn mostly. They might have had a spot in the city, but I think they're in Brooklyn. Van Leeuwen ice cream. They're
Van Leeuwen,
everywhere
yeah.
now. Yeah, there was fantastic ice cream. They had great vegan flavors. Because
Yeah.
I was vegan for 6 months. That was crazy. That was unnecessary. Donuts. There's a couple of places. I think donuts are probably the one like food trend. As much as I love like a good yeasty donut, that I probably wouldn't win on. I haven't waited online in New York. Like outside of New York, I have,
Yeah.
because it was like a really like cool spot, but not so much in New York. But like Donut Plant is a very popular one. They have like a creme brulee donut, excuse me, that I really want to try. It's got the crunchy shell and everything. But I'm trying to think of other donut spots in New York. There's so many,
Do
and
y'all do
I've
cake
gone.
donuts in New York?
They're they are, I think, less popular in
Yeah.
my opinion. Like the yeasty ones get all the love, especially like
Yeah.
they're easier to fill and put a topping on top.
Yeah.
Cake donuts are delicious. They're really good.
Yeah. We
But
do
I
a lot of
think
cake donuts here.
is that more popular? So is the old fashioned donut is a cake donut? Isn't it
Yeah.
technically?
The old fashioned is a
Yeah.
cake donut. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
cake donut. So that was donuts are amazing. Sorry, I can't stop thinking about it. But I think my like number one, and this is kind of be cheesy because it's from Sex and the City originally, no doubt. Magnolia cupcakes, right? Cupcakes are good.
Yep.
I waited online for it because I went with friends who wanted to go. I waited online, but I go back for the banana bread pudding. No, banana bread pudding?
Banana pudding, yeah.
Banana pudding. It is amazing with vanilla wafers and the banana in there. It's like so light and airy and whipped. I think that is like my favorite kind of like New York treat, if you will.
Yeah, I agree.
Black and white cookies are overrated in my opinion. I don't think they're that good. I don't like them. They're not good.
It's kind of an old
like
school
a Seinfeld
thing.
reference. Yeah, I don't like it. Like whatever. But I think that banana pudding is freaking amazing.
Yeah, Magnolia Bakery. Y'all got one with that one.
Yeah, that's a freaking legend right there. Just for that pudding. Forget the cupcakes. Cupcakes are alright.
Yeah,
they're good. They do they handle their business, but that pudding is amazing.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else? I think are we all done? Yeah, we're all done. Hot dogs. That's all you. Sweets. I mean, I love Magnolia. Man. All right. I guess we're gonna hit up with a wild card now. I don't know if you want to start. I can start. Whatever you prefer. Mine is. I'll tell you right now. It's not food related.
Okay.
Just things that I love from New York. Just Tupac, Biggie, MJ. MJ was born in New York. I know he did his business. He handled his business in Chicago, and he is the GOAT. I don't care who's listening. I don't care if you guys think LeBron's the GOAT. MJ is the GOAT, greatest of all time. Born and raised in Brooklyn, in Flatbush.
Yeah, we'll give you that.
Yeah, I mean, he did his damage to New York while in Chicago. But I'm a hurt Knicks fan. But I don't know. I just love the arts and the culture that New York has to offer. Obviously, hip hop music is something I grew up on, and I still listen to now. So I'm proud. Tupac was I said Tupac to clarify. He was born in the Upper West Side. He was born in the city.
Okay.
He didn't. Yeah, he was
I'll
born.
give you that.
So I'm taking MJ, and I'm taking because they were born there and made them what they are. He's representing the West Coast. But Biggie obviously we know. Brooklyn all day, Bed-Stuy.
Yeah.
So, but again, just a lot of music artists, obviously Nas, Jay-Z, if we're talking hip hop, legends in the game, there's so many more, but I'm not going to list every hip hop artist, but it's just something I love about New York is something you could say about Chicago too. It's the culture, the arts, architecture, two of the most beautiful architecturally cities in the world. I think Chicago might have that on New York.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He's like, oh yeah, no doubt, yeah. But
you can see our buildings.
It's true.
It's too many. You can't see them.
I think you guys have the architecture, but I those cities are just stunning for what they offer, and it's not just one focus. It's everything you want. You can get in Chicago and in New York. So I do love my city. I do love your city. What is your wild card for Chi-Town?
Oh man,
the second city, and we're gonna get into that nickname. I want you to correct me.
What is my wild card? That's man.
Is it Kanye?
Nah.
No more credit. No one takes credit for Kanye anymore.
Yeah.
He's still tweeting wild shit. He's
I
still
used to
out
love
there.
Kanye, but not
Me
anymore.
too. Oh
Yeah.
my god,
It would have been Kanye, but
he's probably. I mean, I want to say he's my favorite artist, hip hop artist of all time.
yeah, he would have been.
Hip hop. He would have been. He's producer, amazing producer.
Oh,
I thought great rapper. Go ahead.
what am I doing? Obama.
Oh my
Mic drop.
god. That's it. See you guys next week. Thanks for listening. No, he's a legend. What am I doing? I love that. What am I doing? What am I doing?
Mic drop. Yeah.
I mean, listen, you could have taken MJ easily, but you went with the goat of goats, I think. Yeah, absolutely. That's a pretty big wild card, actually. Damn, man. We have presidents too, you know? We have one of the Roosevelts, or I think a Roosevelt's from New York. Yeah. The street I grew up on was Teddy Roosevelt's. No. Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt's third son, named after him. He died in a war. I'm not sure which one.
Okay.
But yeah, Quentin Road. Yeah, New York, Chicago, amazing cities, have a lot to offer. We're not comparing. We're just stating our favorites.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. Check us out on the socials. We dropped it earlier. The link will be in the descriptions of the show. Again, we thank you again for listening. Catch old episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, YouTube. We drop every Tuesday. We'll have some polls so we can ask you guys your favorites about New York and Chicago coming up on the socials. Look out for that. We'd love to hear from you guys. Tim, I just got a notification. There's a bakery that caught fire. Did you hear about that?
Really? No.
Yeah. Turns out their entire business is now toast. That one was for Tim. You don't have to fake laugh. It was terrible. That was for Tim. All right, guys. We'll catch you next week. Thank you for listening. I'm Jimmy Ravanos.
Right. I'm Brian Davis.
Yes, Thanks, you are. Later, guys.
Peace.